Let's see. Hey guys, we are live, and yeah, this is not going to work for me because I have to look at y'all. So let me go ahead and put this back up here where it was. So hey, we wanted to come to you today, myself and Allegra Jackson and Ms. TC Okur, because as the WIN consultants, which we will be launching in January, we do have some things that we want to discuss prior to that. So anyone who has a business who has at least 2 employees, you're adequately making consistent revenue every month, and you really want to be guided through the process of understanding how to get from where you are in your business, whether it's having low staff, high turnover, also being able to be in a place where you can be less overwhelmed. Like there's just a huge overwhelm in companies. And today we're going to talk about a SWOT analysis breakdown that myself and TC, we did on an actual company here in Atlanta. And if you don't know what a SWOT analysis is, it is basically SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And this is going to be really good for a lot of individuals who are running businesses or starting businesses, and you don't necessarily know where you are in the market, right? Like, where's your positioning in the market? How strong is your business? And we do the SWOT analysis because it will get you straight to the core of what it is that you're experiencing, rather than trying to go through all of the business planning and marketing strategies and all this just to get to an answer. We dig right into where your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are, and we catapult your strengths. TC, I want you to introduce yourself as the WIN consultant, because we are making this a department within our community. We want to make sure that we're giving some clarity around it and giving some examples for our potential client of what things that they can do well. So this is an actual business that we're going to be dissecting today, and you can look them up just like we're going to look them up, and you're going to be able to see what we see, so you can identify where it is in your business that you can improve as well. TC, go ahead. You have the mic, and then I'll pull up the screen after you're done.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Allegra, for saying, "Oh my gosh, TC, we need to have this live session right now because it's very important." One, it's important because sometimes we say certain things, but I believe that it becomes clearer when we get to see it. Now, this is a real life business company that we're going to be showing you certain back ends, and we want you to pay attention. Now, my name is TC. I'm a systems implementation strategist. I am one of the WIN consultants. Now, basically, when it comes down to increasing your footprint, increasing that traffic, getting people into your business, quality connections, ensuring that you're getting the right people to learn about your services, learn about your products, learn about what you do, and also buy from you. Putting the right strategies and the right implementational support to getting it done. And that's basically what I do. So from your assessment down to your lead generation, down to creating the right structures, we'll be doing all of that and more when it comes down to the WIN consulting. Now, what we're about to show you, like Allegra mentioned, is basically the back end. And like I mentioned, that these are the little things that you do not pay attention to, that basically eats deep into your revenue. Now, even when we talk about, oh, you're not getting clients, people are not coming into your shop, so people are not coming into your going to your website, the question is why. Most times it's not about, oh, your marketing. Most times it's something else. It could be positioning. It could be a little thing that you need to tweak. Now, we're not just talking, we are showing you. And that's basically what this life is about. So I would need you to pay attention to every single detail and then go back, to fix these things and even more things in your business. And while you're watching and you think you have questions, you can always send us a DM, or, Allegra is also going to put the link in the chat so that you're able to connect with us. But please pay close attention to everything we're going to be showing you today. Over to you, Allegra.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, TC. And y'all know you can always contact the WIN consultants. You can book an appointment with any of us if you go to the WIN website, community.org, wincommunity.org. But I will say this, we're not starting this until January. Okay. This is our prequel to this to give you guys an understanding and an in-depth approach of what other businesses out there, the businesses that you want to be like, the businesses that we look up to and we say, oh, that's pretty, that's nice, that looks great. But, we also have to be very realistic about business, because we'll get very sideswiped about what it looks like opposed to what it is. And then that's what discourages us in business. That's why we have to do businesses the way that we do business. So I'm going to pull this up. This is actually a strategy that I put together and let me present this on a screen. For this company here in Atlanta, as we were leading to the conference, I actually told TC, I said, while we are looking at these sponsors and people who are actually in our vicinity of the conference, I want to see if we can also work with them on the consulting side. It's one thing to get yourself out in the market and to be a sponsor and to say, hey, I want to sponsor the conference. I'm gonna give you some money to put my logo out there or to put my banners out there. But here's the thing. Marketing is not necessarily just about throwing things out there, because if that's the case, every business would make money. It's about positioning. Where are you putting it and who's there looking at it? So what we were talking about, myself and TC, and this company is called And Cheese. So if you look them up, and I'll pull up the website in a moment, y'all. But And Cheese, they're cheese. One of the things that I talked to the owner about, I said, what is your goal? He said, my goal is to get to about $40,000 in monthly revenue. Now, that's decent, right? And this is a food establishment. But here's the thing that I thought was very interesting, because if we were talking about a business like, that usually has mid-volume, low to mid-volume, I would say, okay, gotcha. Like, that seems good. But this business was like, the prices are high, right? So they're not undervaluing. And we'll go into that a little bit more. But there were some things in my customer experience journey, y'all. And I want to highlight this because we're looking at strategy, but customer experience and customer service will rise above strategy any day. Because if people are not having a great experience with your brand, it doesn't matter what strategy you put in place. It doesn't matter what marketing campaign you have. They're not coming to buy. They may support, but they're not just going to keep coming. And business operates from residual revenue. So here's the thing. They're committed to offering this ultimate grilled cheese experience, and it has high quality gourmet sourdough sandwiches. The bread caters to dine-in, takeout customers, ensuring a top-notch dining experience whether all the restaurants or at home, with menus like vegan grilled cheese. And think about that, right? Like, it has options where you can, if you are vegan, you can have vegan cheese, right? So that's thoughtful. The SWOT analysis, for starting off with the strengths, y'all, having a unique product offering. We clearly see that, okay? And they specialize in gourmet sourdough, grilled cheese sandwiches. And it's a niche market, because if you think about it, if you looked at the sandwiches, which is what I had to experience, and this is why we say, don't just look at everything online, go into the store, go into the facility and experience the brand. What I found out was that they weren't like what I thought it was. They were actually like paninis. And that's a different type of experience, right? So it's a very niche market. And then you have high quality ingredients that they use, right? They have flexible dining options. So, they can dine in and take out, right? And these are things that we know that are strengths, but we can also improve on our strengths. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I was not able to finalize going over this strategy with the client. So we'll do that later. But one of the things that we, kind of covered was really about their takeout services. Like, some of the things that we'll discuss here is you have to have the capacity to do these things. Like, your strengths have to stay strong while you also work on your weaknesses and your opportunities and your threats. So we have to look at this as a holistic picture, that if your strengths are good, make sure that you have the capacity to keep your strengths up. Okay. A focus on delivering ultimate grilled cheese experience creates a loyal customer following. So let me tell y'all something. If you can serve the same ingredients, you can have the same food menu, you can be consistent. But the day that The day that that experience, that customer experience is off, that has nothing to do with the food. It's everything to do with their overall atmosphere, the way you walk in, the way that you're greeted, not what's being said, but the way it's being said. Someone can say, "Hey, how you doing? Welcome in." And you'd be like, "You might as well not even greet me." But if someone goes, "Hey, welcome to Mo's," right? We know them. We know that's part of the brand because that greeting and the feeling of the experience. Also, the way the food is set out, the way that it's presented, the presentations, all that stuff is good. So they had really, really good, strong, presence, and they were very passionate about the brand. But here are some of the weaknesses down here. And y'all listen, stay tuned. Don't chime out on this because I know this is information that is really, really like can be a little foreign or a little off, but I want you to think really clearly about how this can relate to you and your business. But first, look at the business that we're talking about. Before I go into weaknesses, TC, I do want to pull up the website of the brand. Okay. And while you're talking about the strengths, I'm going to pull up the website so that maybe we can give them a little bit of a bird's view as to what the website looks like. Okay. So I'll give the mic over to you so you can chime in. And y'all, please ask any questions you have, and I'll pull up the company.
Brilliant. So while you pull up the website, let me take you back to something really very important that Allegra mentioned. Now, if you notice, even in our businesses, we always want to talk about all the things that we do not have and hope that the things we do not have, when changed, can get us to those 1 million, get us to those whatever thousand that you hope. Now, we forget that, when we look inwards, right, and we watch our strengths and we work on our strengths, we make more. Now, let me break it. I'm not saying don't pay attention to your weakness, but I'm saying don't focus so hard on it that you more or less overlook where you should focus on, which should be your strength. Now, your focus should be on your strength. I mean, if the value proposition, right? If what you're offering to people is not basically what they receive, then there's a problem. Now, I have here in my notes, you can tell us, as one of the win consultants, and you say, "Oh, you know what? I want to increase the footprint in my business, or I want to increase the sales in my business. I want to make a certain amount, in my business." Now, the question is, how much sustainable measures do you have in place? Now, that's a huge question because, and yes, it does not have anything to do with the size of your business, how long you've been in business. I mean, the earlier you put this in place, the better. Now, so many of us have this whole thing. So, for example, let's focus on, okay, our goal is to increase the walk-ins to our business. Like, are you good with the website? Okay, now you say,
But I will pull, I'll pull it up, and I'll show everyone once you're done. I'm going to show them the process I'm going through because um, I want to show everyone something. But go ahead, and then I'll pull it up once you're done.
okay, great. So I was saying, so many a time we talk about, "Oh, I want to get this client. Oh, I want to do this." Now, picture this. When people come to you, right, they're excited about your marketing. If you say marketing is the problem, right? Now, they're excited about your marketing and they come to buy from you. Now, it's not the fact that they come that one time that gets you the 50,000 or make your business successful. It's the fact that they come, they stay, they come, triple times, they make it a habit and they refer your business. Now, the question is, what will get them to the door? Make them take a seat, make them consume what you have, make them stay, make them go back and repeat coming back. Now, that's basically what gets you in business. That's when you say, "Okay, you know what? Now I'm in business." Okay, now that's the question. It's your strength. Now, while we focus on revamping your weakness and all of that, you want to focus your attention to your strength. So, take for instance this brand. They do really good, recipes and all of that. But Allegra is going to show you something, because while we were analyzing this brand, we were able to come across a good number of hiccup that, even if they have the best marketing, you know what they're doing? It's like when you are automating kiosks. Now, what this is you are announcing your bad reputation, your bad reputation. You're announcing, how marketing gets the word out, on your behalf, gets the message out. Now you are going to end up announcing and expanding how horrible your services are. Now, what is this doing? This is no. It's the thing. Let's think about it. If you are yet to, make what you have, maybe your services or your product, if it's a beverage company, you're yet to ensure that whatever you are giving to the people is not only packaged the right way, but is of the quality you claim that you're going to give to them, so that the service and the experience is top notch. Now, when they come to you because you have really good marketing, but all you give them is crap, you know what you're doing? You're announcing how horrible your services are. Now, the marketing is only going to expand and increase. Imagine 10 people come to your space and they see how horrible your services are. They feel like the experience is not good. What you're saying is that you've only made those 10 people aware, and when they go back, it's going to multiply. Now, what do? Look inwards, clean your space, make sure that your strengths are strong enough to accommodate the people you're going to bring in. Now, Allegra is going to show us the website, and we're going to talk about it, because there's so much, so much that we noticed about this brand, and we want you to learn. So we're not dragging the brand. We're not calling out the brand. No, that's not what we're doing. We are trying to show you a real life example of what you should go back, fix in your business, because that's what is eating up your revenue. Over to you, Allegra.
No, that was so good, because the truth is that we're not in this store. We didn't have to work here. We didn't have to know everything about this business to know this. So if we were able to find this stuff out without even knowing much about the business, but doing our own research, then so can the clients and customers. That's the truth. So if we're being very honest about what we're doing with our businesses, which is a lot of, that's the challenge, is like the going back and forth is like, did I do it right? Okay, let me do it differently. Let me try it again. Let me try it this way. And so you have to be willing to adjust and to learn. But one of the things that I said to you, TC, earlier, I said, I'm seeing more people get stuck in the SWOT analysis than needing a marketing strategy. Like I see more people stuck in this part of their marketing plan, because if you look at the strategy, your strategy, like TC said, is going to tell you all kind of things. Do A, B, and C, do E, D, E, and F, and you're going to do it. And then at the end of the week, you're going to be like, what the heck? What? Like, nobody clicked on it. Nobody went through the website. Nobody bought. And a lot of times we're finding that people are clicking all the way through, but once they get to the part where they need to buy or purchase, they're not getting there. This is some of the reason why. Because TC, let me share my screen with y'all. So I was about to show y'all the website for this company. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to just find whatever it is that they have up there. So I could not find a direct website. So y'all, please excuse me, because nothing came up for if I just Googled the name. So when we tell our clients, or when we do this, because TC does a lot of work for her clients, I outsource, and so I have people within my group that does this work. But you need someone to enhance your SEO, because SEO, search engine optimization, because people are always going to go to the most familiar site they know to look for information. Google. It's the largest search engine in the entire world. I don't care if they're visiting from out of the country. I don't care if they're, local and they just never heard of you before. The point is, if you're not on, Google listed, and then, and I don't want to pull them up now, because let me go ahead and share this screen with y'all. Because if you're not present, and this is what we mean by being present in the market, not necessarily posting all the time. We're not talking about that. we're saying, where are you in the market? Where if I Googled you, you would just pop right up to me, right? Because I don't even know where to find you yet. So I said, one of the questions I asked, because I did look into this company, and one of the questions I asked was, like I was looking into like, well, why did it start? When did it start? Right? All these different things. And and y'all can see I was searching over here. So the company's name is And Cheese. So if I went in, I gotta Google first, y'all. We gotta go to Google first. And I want you all to do this for yourselves as well, okay? Because Cece and I did this as well today. Google your own name, your own brand name, and Google your own business name. Do both. Because I do that all the time. The only reason is because I have to analyze, and I'm always making sure that if someone looks me up, they're gonna find me, right? So it could be like Atlanta business coach, it could be like business coaching, like depending on how far of a reach I have and what keywords I'm using, that's gonna be my SEO, right? But a lot of people don't know that. And so even as a store owner, let me pull it up. It's called And Cheese, right? And it's an ATL. So look, it's right there, right? It pulled up right there. Probably because I put it in already. So let me put Atlanta, make it really fancy. All right, so this is what comes up. So listen, so this is right here. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me switch. Okay. So all right, so this right here is the actual Google My Business virtual store. You know how we always tell y'all, get a virtual store for your business? This is what it looks like. Anytime someone researches you, it's going to pull up. So this is them. And what happens is when you go to the website, because they have lots of reviews, so they've been around for a while, y'all. This is not a new baby. This business has 334 Google reviews. So why is it that they're not making $40,000 to $50,000 a month? That's ridiculous, right? So this is what we got to look at. We got to look at the fact that revenue matters. And people, listen, when it comes to your business, your revenue is public. So when we talk about revenue and things like that, it's not like your income where you keep your little paycheck together. You go, oh, I'm not gonna tell nobody what I make. That's employee mentality, and that's why I work and I coach with women entrepreneurs mainly, because that mentality has to go. We have to get into a space where you're not so worried about, okay, well, I can't tell nobody. The business, you have to be able to expose your information out to your accountants, the government, to your customers, right? Like you can't keep it private, because it's not just for you, it's for the market. So when you think about revenue, if you are making a certain amount of revenue and you don't want anyone to know how much you're making, then it's limiting you from getting support for someone who can give you resources to give you more revenue, right? Like I remember I was making like $3,000 a month, and I was like, I don't know how to make more than that. But if I never said anything about my revenue, I would have never got support, right? I would have never been shown how to make $10,000 a month. So we have to be able to talk about what we're experiencing in business. And that's why I coach through the process of assessing. TC works with you so that you can get it done. But this right here, y'all, I was so impressed by the Google reviews. But then I went down, TC, and I clicked on the website. And that's what came up. And I was like, okay, let me go back, because I made a mistake, right? Let me go back. Because I must have made a mistake. That can't be the website. So let me go back and let me see.
How many people get to tell themselves I made a mistake and go back? Like how many customers have that patience to want to go back? I mean, go back. Let's try it again.
Wait,
it just might be a mistake.
Listen, if I was a customer, real talk, y'all, if I was a customer, in my customer mind, unless I have a real connection with this place, whatever, and I know about it already, I probably wouldn't even waste my time going back to look and see if that was wrong. Why? Why would I? I'm just going to find the next venue. I'm going to find the next place. And this is actually a place that is located inside of a mall. So listen, this is why I think it's really interesting to me, Because there's foot traffic in a mall, yes, but I think sometimes we don't realize that we can't borrow other people's customers. Like we have to earn our own.
For how long do we want to keep borrowing other people's estate?
Right. So, like for example, I think sometimes, and look, I'm going off a tangent here because this also relates to each of us in small businesses. Just because we don't have a brick and mortar doesn't mean like we have to be very, very targeted. You have to be very, very clear about who you want in your doors, and you have to market to them. But if we're not even, realizing, hey, we have a problem, Houston, we have a problem, then there's no issue. So I'm not sure if the owner even knows that this is a problem here. But I will say that it's a huge problem because every single click that someone clicks, we don't even know that they're clicking on it. So we can't even tell how many people are even attempting to come to the website at this point, right? Now let's do something else because we're about to go into the weaknesses part of the SWOT analysis. And so one of the things that I've noticed is that there are some social media things on here. And this is why we tell people all the time, and this is why I encourage a lot of my brick and mortar establishments, just get one of your employees to do the social media accounts, because every time you post on social media, it puts your name out there on Google. So clearly their Instagram has been used, but
Okay,
I don't.
okay. So Allegra, you can go on, but this is something we should pay attention to. Okay, I know Allegra just mentioned every time you post, it would show up on Google, but you want to make sure that your entire profiles, are SEO optimized. If not, it's just going to bounce back, right? So we want to be intentional with every single platform that we show up on social media, right? Because we want to dominate our own space. I mean, for how long do you want to keep using other people's spaces?
Well, yeah, and that's what we're trying. That's what we're talking about, right? Like I've taught my clients and I've coached them through this. This is not what we're doing here. We're talking about the process, y'all. That real, like honestly, if I go and look up anybody's name and I don't see a list of like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, if you look up any of my businesses and my name, you're gonna see all of it because it's optimized. Like TC says, you don't have to post every day, right? You don't have to do it, but it's optimized. So I think like, but posting every day helps because you're using hashtags, keywords, right? And it's staying active. You got to stay active because every single day someone wakes up, they're experiencing some new stuff. The other businesses that are out there are giving them something new. If you're not giving them anything new to look at, anything new to experience, then what would they pay attention to? The old content you created? So we got to kind of look at that and say, what is it that we need to do? Now, I'm using this as an example for social media because I manage social media accounts. TC manages social media accounts. We literally have seen the bulk of and the load of these social media accounts that have just been used in a way where they use it as websites. People use it as websites. People use it as like a general influencer feed. So many different ways. So you have to know what you're using and why. But this is their Instagram. I thought it was amazing. They had 15.1 thousand followers. So I was like, woo, they got some followers, right? Wonder how many are converting. Because remember, the bio is right here. And everything you post sends you where? To the bio. So when I click on the bio, is it going to go back to that same website or is it going to go to the right website, right? So now this is another part that we have to discover. So let me go over and see what comes up. Let's see. Okay. So the same link is on all of the marketing platforms, meaning that wherever I go, I'm going to think this company is probably going out of business.
I'm just going to think that there's a problem somewhere, or maybe they're just a scam, or someone else has hacked into their system and trying to scam them
There's
somehow.
another one.
I don't want to. I don't want to be associated with a company that have issues, or maybe I'm afraid that they're having internal problems. I mean, think about it. As customers, we get to talk about or think the weirdest things, about brands, it could come up for you as well. Your customers can be really, really weird when it comes down to how they think about you. I mean, look at this bio, for example. What would you say about this bio? Like, this is for somebody who has 15.1 followers. It's not about the amount of followers. You would go out and see restaurants or see really good eat outs, and they have maybe like 2,000, 1,000, but they are cashing out daily. Now this is 15,000, and they're still wanting and hoping to make 40,000 every month. I mean, with this kind of followership, and with the reviews they have, we should be talking about 100, 200. We should be talking about how can we scale, how can we expand, because with this, it shows that they have so much asset for them to replicate and get people to buy. Like, the potentials are really high. The question is what you currently have, how much of it are you able to take advantage? With this, they are supposed to, in quotes, able to monetize just their social media, right? But everything about their bio is not optimized.
No, it's not
Like,
like
the
none of
link is
this.
not working.
No, no, no. We're not going to go into it because TC would go off on y'all. So let's stop there, because the thing about this is that this is very general information, but it does not express the unique value of this brand, right? And the reason why I love this is because I've had two experiences inside of this store. And I know that they're doing like a remodel, right? And that's one of the things I want to bring up, TC, because I know a little bit of inside scoop as to what's going on behind the scenes, because I know that they're going to be doing a remodel and things like that. But that kind of confused me, because as I was scrolling, I said, okay, well, remodel sounds nice, but okay, let's see what they're doing now, and if it, why are you remodeling? It looks great in here. Like, what do you need to do differently? Food looks great, blah blah blah, right? And I remember going to the feed, and I remember looking at this last reel from February 24th. Okay, this is the actual food. The tables are unique. I'm not sure what she had in her hand. This is the layout. So they want to remodel this place. It is small though. It's small, and it's unique. But some of the things that I was talking about when I was at this location, and I did bring shout out to the Win community speakers, sponsors, and people that came out and did the walkthrough of the original location of the conference. Because Lenox Mall, right across the street, we're only like 5 minutes up the road now, but Lenox Mall is right across the street, and I'm telling y'all, like this place was like, is so easy to get to. And as I'm just going in here and I'm looking at like, oh, well, we could bring people over from the conference. We can have meetings. We can, I can have like little girls talks here. And I'm gonna tell y'all that I ended up changing my mind, because it was one of those things where the experience threw me off. Okay, so let's talk about that, because I'm gonna get out of this, and I want to go back over to the SWOT analysis, because this is something that I just want everybody to be able to grasp. Make sure I don't have any calls coming through, because I know somebody wanted a call. Okay, so going back to this part of the SWOT analysis, let me go back to the description, y'all, because this had me all the way going in on. And when I do this, I don't like, if this company decides to utilize what we've given upon an assessment, that's great. We don't charge for that. That's great. But in order to really put this together and structure it, you're gonna have to have someone consult you through this. And so I want to take y'all through this. This is, I would take myself through something like this. When we talked about the strengths, we knew what was going well. Now, the weaknesses are the hardest part, because we saw the video, we saw the website. Now, the weakness is limited brand awareness. As a specialized brand, and Cheese may still be building its presence in the market, and is. Because if I didn't go into Lenox Mall, I would never know who they are. Never. Never, ever, ever would have. If you have a brick and mortar located on Martin Luther King Boulevard, and you know that your clients, you know, all need to be making, 65 and above a year, 65K and above a year, you probably don't need to be located on Martin Luther King Boulevard. That's in any city. I ain't gonna lie, because I've been around there. So, there are certain areas and locations. So yes, being in that mall is great because it positions that company to have their high prices, right? But at the same time, they have to go out into the market and they got to tell people they're there, right? Because those people are where they're at. Those people are already ready to pay that money. They're already ready because they expect it. They expect to spend, $20 on a sandwich.
Can they actually vouch for 5% of the traffic that goes into the mall? I mean, let's not go so hard. How many people, how many of the people that visit the mall know that they're actually in the mall?
Well, that's also true. So not only do we have limited brand awareness outside of the mall, we also have limited brand awareness inside the mall. Because unless that store is listed on the kiosks, flashing in front of people with advertisements, unless they have little, tables throughout the mall saying, hey, come visit, right? There's nothing telling me as a consumer that Auntie's is down there, let me go eat. So here's what I love about that too, is because it tells us that we can enhance that brand awareness, right? I was telling TC earlier, I have wrote down some solutions, to some of these troubleshooting issues, which I've helped clients before several times. And it's always the most basic, simple things. Make sure you're speaking to your audience. Two things around that area that I told TCS said their offices are huge corporations, huge offices, plenty of high level executives, employees, people that come on a lunch break. If you go to these establishments, go to these companies, like literally in walking distance, and go, hey, I want to invite you out to my restaurant. We're doing a special until the end of the month. You get 10% off if you bring in this flyer. Like, it's so simple. But listen, here's the thing. People most likely won't even take the flyer. They won't even bring the flyer in. They'll be like, oh, that's in Lenox Mall, right? And they'll be like, oh, I got to try that sometime. And they will come and look for it when it's time. Like, I've seen this happen on so many fronts. You don't have to have a big billboard to tell people every day that's driving by that your store is located in the mall. You can literally do the footwork, have your staff do the footwork, right? Because we're talking to companies with at least 2 staff members. So if you don't have at least 2 people in your company that can operate your company, then maybe you need to hire more, right? Get more help, get more support. But somebody needs to always be selling. Somebody needs to always be marketing, because if the mall only brings in 500 people that day, maybe 25 are going to walk in that store, right? So it's highly dependent on the mall traffic, and don't really, and there may be a lot of other things that I just don't know about. Y'all don't, like, I have not dug into this brand as a client or anything. This is an example for you all. I will be also sharing this video with him so that he can see a lot of the things that we walk through, because this is real. We can see this. Like, we can see that we don't ever see you anywhere else but in that little corner of the mall. Also, the website is not up. So even if I don't see you physically walking around, there's no way for me to find you even through a website. Like, websites, the reason why, and I'll stop here and see what you have to say, TC. The reason why I tell everyone to get a website is not because, like, you don't, because you want to have all this information on it. It's because that's what enhances your SEO. You have a blog on your website. You have website pages. You have information, pictures with SEO on it, with taglines, with little notes on there that show what that is. And if it's all going back to the same message, then what happens is you're going to get picked up heavily on Google. Even your social media gets picked up heavily on Google. So when people go looking for certain things, right? Like, they go, oh, gourmet cheese sandwich or gourmet cheese, it's going to pop right up. They're not going to look for, hey, what stores are near me in the mall Like if they're near you and they say stores near me and you're listed online, you're just going to come up anyway, right? But you're in a flood of a whole bunch of stores. So you want to be keyword specific. I'll stop there, TC. I would love to hear your take on this.
I love the way the angle in which this whole conversation is getting to. So let's go back a bit. Imagine you have your goal is to increase your traffic, right? And your website isn't working. Um, you don't have your business on. You don't have a Google business profile. But remember, this is free. Okay. I mean, so many of us do not even understand what it means to take advantage of the free things that can expand our businesses. Now, you are going to position yourself for people to find you. Now, if you're watching this and you are your one of your goals is to increase your walk-ins, ensure that your business profile, your Google business profile is highly optimized. Now, highly optimized means everything I touch is taking me somewhere where I need to be. It's showing me what I need to see because like Allegra was saying, even if you have those flyers, right, just because you give me a flyer right now doesn't necessarily mean that I would need it right now. I mean, those flyers these days, we just take them flyers and then we toss it somewhere else. No, it's not always intentional because we know you invest money on it, right? But sometimes, we just might be sitting somewhere and we forget it, or we have it in the car and then we forget that we put it underneath the chair in the car, or something happens and we don't just know where to find the flyer. The question is, we remember the name. Once we type the name on Google, what shows up? Do you show up? Now, when you show up, if you eventually show up, can you direct me to where I need to be? That's one big question. Because the truth is, most times, the reasons why you're not making money is not because maybe whoever that set the business idea is the business idea, did you a bad thing? Or some people will say, oh, I don't think this business is for me. No, the business is for you. The idea is valid, but what you have currently is not just working. Now make it work. How about we make what is currently with us, what we currently have work? Like, let's pause right now on the new things, or rather on the things we think we need to add. I mean, we want to remodel, we want to do this. How about we make what we currently have working? So take, for instance, for this brand. Okay, let us make our business accessible, because the last time I checked, the business isn't even accessible. So how do I connect with you? How do I find you? What if I'm stuck? I'm trying to find you in the mall. How do I find you? Who do I call? Like, sometimes, it happens to me sometimes, right? Maybe I'm in the mall and I'm like, oh yeah, what did I say the name is anymore? Okay, and I'm trying to check and I'm like, okay, I see you, and maybe I want to quickly call somebody, or for some reason my internet isn't working, and make it accessible. You want walk-ins? Put in all of these things in place. Make your website accessible, your business profile accessible, because it could actually direct me to the front space of when you have your business optimized, for example, it would take me directly to the doorstep. Like, you've reached your destination. That's that lady that always talks, when you put the direction, like, it takes you directly to the doorstep of whatever shop you're going to, right? But you see, if you are misdirecting the algorithm, you can't blame it when you're not getting the returns and the results that you want to get. I mean, have your numbers in there, not just one number, two numbers, just in case the other one goes missing or something. Make the numbers work, make your website work, make make sure that you are available on all the social media platforms that your customers are. Optimize it. I mean, what you currently have, make it work before you start to increase your cost of your overhead cost, all in the name of remodeling, right? So that's what I'm going to say, because at the end of the day, you want to ensure that you're not eating deep into your revenue even before you start to make the money. That's where I'm going to stop, Allegra.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. Thank you, TC. I mean, this is definitely something we're going to have to table and come back and just really dig a little deeper for you all, because as I'm looking at it and just going back over the strategy outline, listen, y'all, there's some simple things that can be done. And it's not even the fact that, because I want to look a little deeper. This is why I want to have this conversation again, TC. This is something different than what we do with our big brand small business series. This does not have anything to do with that. This is just kind of our part of our beta testing program for the Win Consulting. And I want to make sure that like we're digging deep enough into this so that we actually get a full picture of what it is that we're looking at, because some of the most simple things, TC, under the weaknesses area, when we talked about presence in the market, if you're a restaurant, or if you're like any establishment that sells food, the first thing I would tell people to do is to get themselves listed on those major delivery sites. Okay. Now, I know that there are some things to consider, because you got cost effectiveness, right? Because they overcharge. Okay. So you got cost effectiveness. We did do the whole series on Grubhub. So y'all go back and watch that one. I might drop the link in here so you can see, how they do help and support lots of restaurants, get themselves out there. And I was telling you guys, I order from Grubhub all the time. As disappointed as I am, I'll still keep ordering because they're connecting me to the brands. TC, and I don't want to show this to the audience just yet, but I want you to look up on Grubhub and let me know if And Cheese is listed there. I don't know if that'll come up in your market or if I have to use the US market, because TC's in the UK, so it might not happen. It might not come up on her end. But y'all do that. Y'all look up Grubhub and, whatever delivery sites y'all go to, and look for these businesses that are restaurants. And the reason why we say this is because a lot of times it's not about the money. It's not about the money. Never is. It's about how effective are you? Because to make more money, like me and Titi said, there are some small little tweaks that we could do, like, looking at, oh, I got the delivery thing, looking at the flyer thing that I was talking about. I've literally seen conversion skyrocket through flyering, because we're so far in a market of people always being online. So going face to face right now in the market, like talking to people face to face, walking in their stores, handing out flyers, postcards, giving them, video interface and interaction. That is something that is different from what most people are doing. And so you want to be that person. As a matter of fact, TC, I was actually thinking about this today. After I had that download about my new book. I will have a book coming out, y'all. I was just telling TC a little sneak peek, but I will say this. I was thinking, why don't we do the total opposite of what other people do to get our businesses off the ground? Because if you're doing what you see in the market, that means you're doing what people who are already established are doing. And a lot of times we start off that way. And so instead of doing the opposite, which is basically what we call a blue ocean, if you are doing everything that most people you see are doing because it's working for them, then you're in a red ocean because it's working for them. So you're now having to compete with what's working for them.
Working for them. Because that's why they're doing it, because it's working for them.
So now you want to jump into a red ocean of strategy with someone who's already working for it. Now you got to catch up. So the whole point is to look at where you need to be in the market, right? That blue ocean strategy is the bomb. So that's what we're going to be digging into. I want you all to really get very familiar with the SWOT analysis, because TC, I want this to be something that I bring back up. And when I go look at this, and if I look at, and listen, y'all better hope I don't do y'all business. Like, listen, get your stuff together now, because me and TC are going through businesses. We are going through businesses and we are airing it out, because the truth is we are in such a market where so many businesses are not being called out, but we're taking on the customers that are complaining about them. We're in a market where it's oversaturated with businesses that are not running properly, right? And so we either need to pick up the pace, get your business together, or do something else, because it's starting to look little hood, like it's starting to look a little ghetto. So I want to put in the company that I was talking about. It's starting to give
I,
ghetto.
I want to say something else. If you're bold enough, if you're courageous enough, and you have a business, or someone who has a business, and you want us to analyze it, and you're not scared of us analyzing it, like right here, send us a message. You can send us a DM, tell us about your business. Let us do the analysis, let us do the research, and we come out here and talk about it. How about that?
Yeah, and please give us permission first, because we can do the analysis for you. Absolutely no charge. We are in a beta testing phase. So if you're like, look, my company, I think it's doing well, but I would love an inside scoop and have a SWOT analysis curated for my company, my brand, so I know what things I need to do, we can do that for you, simple. And that will also be part of our case study, so that we can see where we need to put our efforts into this process for other business owners that need us. But I will say this, y'all, I did not find any of that company on Grubhub. And so I said to myself, well, let me see, because listen, it's kind of a boutique restaurant, right, TC? I mean, it has tables, they have, so if I want to, I can make it that. I can put it on Resi and, have it like 2 table reservations, but I don't know how that works, so I can't say that. But what I'm saying is, I just looked for this company in several places for delivery options, okay, takeout options, and in-store options. And the only access that I have to this company is walking in Lenox Mall and looking for it. If I never knew about it, if I never walked in that store that day, while I was over there scouting the mall for the conference, I would have never met them. I would have never found them. And it's not about me, it's about everyone else. Who else can't find them? And why give so much limit to access? And here's where I'll leave it at. We'll come back again. Y'all let us know, how this resonates with you. We kind of can tell if we want to bring it back for another conversation, or just give this to the client for some, general information. But I will say, like, we have to be so clear-minded about exactly what we're doing in our business, and not waste time on doing it. And then on top of that, focus on the things that are going to work. And I think the problem is, it's going to work. Like passing out 100 flyers to people who are ready to eat gourmet cheese paninis is not a loss, right? Making phone calls and doing all these things, it's access. That's what we're giving people. We're giving them access to our business. It's unfair that people have to look so hard just to get results. And that problem solution theory, TC, I think, because that's what we always start with. Before we even do the SWOT analysis, is we do a problem solution theory. What problems are you having? What problems are you experiencing? Why are you feeling this way? Okay. And once we do that problem solution theory, then we go into that SWOT analysis. So I want to, and I would love to work with an ideal candidate, which for me is a company that has more than 2 employees. Okay. So I'm really big on that, because that means that you're structured enough where we can actually sit you down, guide you through this thing. And if you don't really have a lot of time to do that either, we still have a process that you can take that time to go through your learning stages and know how to implement, and still have a backup team to jump in place if you need them to implement things for you, because we do have resources within our community walls. I wanted to just end with that, TC, because I think that if people understood more about the SWOT analysis, more about how to just break down those strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and if y'all do this today, you're going to win at something tomorrow, because you're going to figure out there's something so simple that you weren't doing, like a loyalty program where people just collect points off of your Square machine. Because now I want to come back for more points, right? It's not about the food, it's about the points. So anyway, we'll talk more about that in the next session. Anything you want to leave with, TC, before we get out of here?
Is Enches on LinkedIn? No. Allegra?
I don't know. I gotta look, because remember, LinkedIn, and this is why we tell people that they have to have their own profiles, because I know that the people will definitely look for that on LinkedIn. But I'm sure, well, I mean, not profiles, I mean the pages for your business, not just your profile, because on LinkedIn you have your profile, but then you also need to create a page for your business. That's a whole nother conversation, TC. And TC is a master at LinkedIn. She's over there shaking her head. She's so disappointed.
They
TC,
don't have. I mean, why do people? Oh wow, they don't. They not
TC's so
care.
disappointed.
No
So
care.
listen, before we go, we've learned not to be more upset about people's businesses than they are. So we are definitely I've learned. I don't know. TC may still be learning. But you know, at the end of the day, TC, like, I appreciate this live because TC kind of went with the reins with me. I wanted to switch it up and do something a little different today. If you guys don't recognize, I've been MIA for about a week or so because I've been working on the conference, and we did have a glitch in the conference. So I do want people to know that we are changing a couple of things there. Most importantly, the date. So if you didn't get to get your tickets for the conference that was happening this weekend, guess what? Now you have more time. So we actually have more opportunity for you to get your tickets. It's in November. And we'll be having a much luxurious experience, actually, even in a more intimate space. It's very weird. And so I'm having these revelations now after stressing for about a whole week, okay? Where I feel like, oh, wait, what you think, and I think I'm going to post it because someone said it on Instagram. It's like the mess that you were going through, and to think it was, it was God the whole time, right? So we got to just go with what we know within our faith. And this is why we tell people to have faith, because if I just leaned on my own understanding, y'all, throughout the process, we would not be having a rescheduled event. Y'all would just be sitting here with y'all like, I'm out, I'm not doing it. But with the grace of God and with patience and just long suffering, y'all, this is real love, a labor of love. I want you guys to come out and just experience this. So I'll drop some links for y'all, but TC and I will be starting the Win Consulting in January. If you have companies that you're working with, if you're a coach and you're struggling with working with some of your clients, sometimes it's an elevation to have them get consulted. And we can partner with you on that too, because we don't coach, we consult here. All right, TC, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much again. Y'all have an amazing night. Anything else, TC? You good? All right.
Share your thoughts, share your questions. Share your thoughts, share your questions. Let us know if you love this conversation. Let us know if you don't love the conversation. Let us know what you're working on and how we can support you as well. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Hold on, TC. Change that. If you don't like the
Okay.
conversation, we don't care. Like, that's not the point. Like, we don't care if you don't like this conversation. This is not the point. The conversation is not for you to care. I'm correcting this because, listen, TC and I are working on this department in the Win community, and we do care about our clients. We do. But this conversation is not for the ones to have to care. We don't care about if people don't like it, because it's the truth.
Okay.
This is just the truth. So I wanted to make that correction, TC, because I know on the coaching side,
I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back. We don't care.
All right, bye, y'all. We gotta go. We'll see you on the flip side.